Well, I introduced myself, but I'm Ryan, and I really am. God has really stirred my heart, in particular the last several years, for this kind of thing, which is just such an incredible thing to see. I want to see it up in Riverside County as well, which is where I'm from. But part of the reason being that I was raised through with a student mentor ministry mindset, Parachurch organization. My dad has been the regional director in Riverside County for about 25 years, and so I was, ever since I can remember, kind of win, build, send, Campus Crusade for Christ, high school ministry, just dealing with this parachurch ministry that's intended to come alongside churches, help with outreach, deal with the campus influence, and be where the kids are at. So that was my upbringing. That was kind of the mold I was used to. And then about 6 years ago, I actually came on as a youth pastor at a church. And my eyes were open to how different church ministry is from parachurch ministry. There's not the autonomy. There's a little more structure, a little more expectation too of our house and the church that needs to care for the members that are coming through its doors. And it was just a very different thing for me. And so I've been learning to juggle some of this and have been trying to figure out how to balance that. But in the midst of that, I've developed and discovered actually this symbiotic relationship between the two ministries. It's beautiful when they're working in harmony, and the value that they can contribute. A lot of parachurch ministries struggle with truly being parachurch. They're kind of extra church. They're outside of the church and trying to function that way. But to truly come alongside supporting the local body of Christ, it's a difficult thing. And vice versa. The local body of Christ has no idea what to do with these parachurch ministries.
That's why we're here.
In fact, so many of them actually carry a mindset of, well, if the local church was doing its job, those wouldn't even be necessary. They shouldn't be necessary. When in fact, I completely disagree. The body of Christ and the local body of Christ includes those in parachurch ministries, targeting specific groups of people that can't be reached otherwise. And one of those are students on campuses. So I've had this growing passion. In my own church, one of the things that I've seen is this whole thing, specifically what we're going to be talking about is the Adopt the Campus type model.
And you're now no longer youth pastor.
And now I'm no longer youth pastor, but don't hold it against me. I got demoted to more of an associate pastor role. But
demoted.
Yeah, it was a demotion, man.
Is this part of Campus Crusade that we're talking about?
Yes, Student Venture is the high school ministry of Campus Crusade. There's another in San Diego County. There's a Student Venture also. Sean is. Where's he at? He's the last table down there. Don't be confused. We're from. I'm Student Venture in South Riverside County.
Okay.
There's Student Venture San Diego County.
And also, he's associate pastor for Lamb's Fellowship is why he's here.
Right.
And he happens to coordinate stuff with Student Venture.
So the reason they asked me to kind of be here is because of my dual roles and the fact that because I have my hands in both parachurch and church ministries, let's talk about how they can work together in a great way through the Adopt a Campus type model. What we've done is there's from the parachurch perspective, one of the struggles that we've been facing is staff in particular, people to be able to work in the parachurch ministry where income is faith-based.
Yeah.
I mean, all income is faith-based, but truly faith-based, where you're trying to raise support and ask people above and beyond their tithe to be able to say, hey, can you now fork out an additional $50 to $100 a month to support the ministry God has called me to? Yeah. In this kind of economy, the reality is it's the first thing to go with many people. And so what we've noticed is this incredible challenge to maintain good, effective staff people to do the campus ministry. And a lot of other things that come with that. As you lack the staff and the manpower in Riverside County, where we're at, just in Temecula, Murrieta, Paris, and Elsinore, we have about 28 high school and middle school campuses. Yeah, it is. Desert God's country. But we have about 28 high school and middle school campuses that we're trying to facilitate with a handful of staff. And it gets very challenging. The things that you're able to do, you can't be more than one place at once, and so the staff turnover has been tough. What we've seen too is a lot of churches, when you get good people, when a church comes along, recognizes, well, here's a good person. They're on campus doing ministry, working with the kids. One of the first things the churches want to do is go pluck them out, which is, I understand completely. Every church, every organization wants good people, and so they'll come along and say, we can pay you $2,000 a month. Well, the parachurch ministry or staff person says, steady income? Wonderful, no problem. And they end up doing that and kind of keep their hand in the campus ministry, but it just is very challenging. That's from the parachurch perspective. From the church perspective, what I notice is there's again, this kind of a mentality that you lose sight of what's out there. You lose sight of the fact that we're all in here, we want to see them in here, but they're probably not coming in here without us going and reaching out and bringing them in and going where they are, in particular where the students are, where they spend so many hours of their day. And so there's needs on both sides. And what we've kind of done is we started kind of piloting these programs that have really proven effective already. With my church, I'll just speak from that capacity. From my church, we wanted to be where the students were on the campus. We have a high school campus of about 3,500 students that is almost across the street from our church. And we had a little student venture thing, but we weren't utilizing it the way that we could and should. My dad, because of his time there, and just so you know too, this handout, this is something he put together that I really encourage you to go through. That kind of it'll walk you through what he has done really over the past 25 years so effectively to establish a campus ministry. And what we've done is be able to capitalize on the access, the open door that he has established on these campuses, to where now as a church we have a campus influence, a campus ministry team that we've built from the youth program to be able to be on there and facilitate campus ministry once a week. They're there doing a Bible study, they're coordinating outreaches, helping with the planning and implementation of all the different ministries. They're there with the kids. And all I can tell you is this, is that we've seen our youth group grow from about, it was a good size, about 80, 90 people over the past year or so, and then into just this year, there's over 150 high school students that are coming every single week to the midweek services that are purely their additions because of the campus ministry and the impact there. They wouldn't have come otherwise, but because our people are on campus ministering to the kids, we're able to use that Parachurch ministry, and not in a bad way, but because they're grateful too, because what we're able to provide them are people resources and even financial resources that they wouldn't have otherwise. And so it's a really neat thing. The encouragement is, if you have any kind of there's a lot of them, whatever it is, but if you have any Parachurch ministries that you have access to, use that relationship, establish a great connection to say, we can provide you with some people. We can provide you even maybe with some financial backing. We can provide you with some resources that we have in our a little bit more stable environment if you're willing to let us have access to what you have, the relationships that you've built, and to partner with you in this ministry. It can be very, very effective.